Nice to hear John in the studio there in such good form. Good evening, John. Good evening, Sonny. I'm sure you'd like to be here sampling the atmosphere with us. And it was a little bit quiet last night, we've got to admit, at Cardiff. It's been the only poor crowd, but tonight it looks like a pretty good attendance, around about 8,000 I would think. And there is the New Zealand side, led by Matthew Ridge. Sure, John Gallagher would love to be in that position tonight. And the Papua New Guinea side, they've made 2 or 3 changes from the one which drew with the Tongans in Hull on Tuesday night. Nandu Yer comes in wearing the number 8 jersey, and Michael Angra wears 12. But all eyes will be on this exciting captain and scrum half, Adrian Lam, who's had a marvellous season in Australia with Eastern Suburbs. There are substitutes, and what a bench the New Zealanders have with Jean Namu, Okeseni, Kevin Iro and Tony Iro. And without being disrespectful to the Papua New Guinea substitutes, I think it's fair to say that there is far more experience on the New Zealand bench. Very bold prediction there in the studio of an upset tonight for Papua New Guinea. Remember, they've never won a match in the World Cup in this country. Their only win was against New Zealand. Dare I remind New Zealanders, back in 1985 when they beat them by 24 points to 22 in Port Moresby. The word is we will certainly have a New Zealand hacker, but I asked the Papua New Guineans about their hacker and they said we don't have one. So that's the answer to that. Stuart Cummings from Widnes in England is tonight's referee, and Adrian Lam comes out of the little huddle of Papua New Guinea players to come and shake hands with Matthew Ridge. Neil Hansen alongside me in the commentary box. It's an intriguing match because both of them have to go for the win.
They certainly do. Whichever side comes out on top tonight is into a semi-final against Australia. New Zealand particularly have got plenty to prove, and 3 people in particular in that Kiwi side. One sitting on the sidelines, Frank Endicott. His job is definitely on the line tonight. If the Kiwis go down, Frank may be out of a job, which is a shame because he's one of the nicest men in rugby league.
Here is the New Zealand hacker. There were the Iro brothers, Tony and Kevin, both on the bench. I think if anybody had said at the start of this competition that neither Kevin nor Tony Iro would get a place in the starting lineup, they'd have thought you were crazy. But they are on the bench with Hitro Cassini and Jean Namu. This promises to be an intriguing game. I remember 8 years ago the Papua New Guineans came here actually and played against the Lancashire Select 11, and they drew 22-22 here. What an upset that would be if they got a draw.
Absolutely. I think it's not that likely tonight, but the big problem for the Kumuls, of course, in the past has always been the conditions. They've got mist billowing around the floodlights tonight. They'll be relieved to see it isn't tear gas, and away we go.
And a good safe catch for Papua New Guinea. And they're first into possession of the ball. Got to retain possession in these early phases of the match. To get through the 6 tackles is absolutely vital for them. They mustn't make any mistakes early in the game. Away from the hooker, Elias Payo, who had a big game at Hull. He scored a try and 4 goals there, so he's up among the top scorers in this World Cup. The loose forward is Bruce Mamando.
He's one of 2 Canberra Raiders players in this Papua New Guinea team. David Wesley, the prop, the other.
Kick towards touch. It's maybe not quite going to make it. Matthew Ridge picks up.
Good kick by Lam and a great chase by Papua New Guinea there. They were up very, very quickly to pin the Kiwis back.
Now the right wing, Sean Hoppy, who got the first try for them when they started to make their comeback against the Tongans.
Gary Freeman in an unaccustomed role for him tonight. He's New Zealand's most capped player, 44 test caps, but tonight it's the first time he's ever played at dummy half for them at hooker.
His 45th cap tonight, in fact. There's Adrian Lam, the captain of Papua New Guinea, 25 years of age, has had a meteoric rise over the last couple of years after playing in Brisbane club rugby.
Not the best start for Freeman there. The pass went astray, straight into touch, giving the Kumuls an early chance.
Many
behind
people
his
were
wing.
surprised that Freeman was left out of the first test match, with Stacey Jones getting the nod from Frank Endicott, but Jones did such a good job, he certainly couldn't be left out. And of course he's only been let back into the side as a result of Sid Erro's indiscretions.
Nobody was more surprised than Gary Freeman, I think, at being let out, and certainly if I was Stacey Jones, I'd watch out for any hospital passes tonight.
And that showed you there just how close these two sides are. Nice little half break by Stanley Genney from the standoff position. And the couple certainly were lifted by their performance in coming back from 20 points down against Tonga at the Boulevard the other night. They were really happy after that one, picking up a point for the first time here in England. And the crowd are behind them in these early moments.
The Cummels have started well, John, so far. They kicked well on the first kick by Adrian Lamb was a beauty. The chase was very good. They're driving the ball in hard. They're doing well.
That was Nanda Yer out from the hooker, Elias Payot. Lamb looks for a gap, can't find it. Stephen Kearney there, pinning him down. Payot gets away from the first tackle, nice little chip, and he's balked there, but what does referee Cummings do about it? Nothing. Play continues. And Jason Williams has been brought in on the left wing by the Kiwis tonight in place of Richard Barnett. I'm surprised at that. Barnett, who is supposed to be one of the sensations of this World Cup, didn't have many running chances against Tonga at Warrington. Prop forward is Quentin Pongia, one of the Canberra Raiders. From Freeman. Kemp involved, and then it's nicely out here for Richie Blackmore. A first tilt for him. He's a big man, this. He's a regular try scorer. He's got a great scoring record, 12 tries in 13 appearances.
St Helens boos for Henry Paul of Wigan, of course, when he got the ball there, weren't there?
Yes, Stacey Jones has got that pass away, however, with Matthew Ridge coming into the line, and then the longer ball out to Williams. Fired out there by Henry Paul. And this is the first time that the Papua defence may be tested. With a high one, hoisted towards the full-back, and the ball is stolen from him, and Matthew Ridge goes over for the first try of the night, and a catastrophic mistake by David Bucco has let Matthew Ridge in. The former All Black gives New Zealand a perfect send-off, try number 1.
And David Bucco made the classic mistake there. If you're getting a bomb dropping on your head, you've got to go up to meet it. Bucco didn't get high enough. Ridge came in over the top, picked it out of his arms, and went around behind the post. And the man who put the bomb in, Gary Freeman, I said he had a point to prove. He's started in the right way there. Towering bomb towards the Kummel line. There's Bucco waiting for it to land. He tries to go, he doesn't go enough. Ridge just pinches it out of his arms and takes it around behind the post. And that's going to give the goal kicker, who happens to be Matthew Ridge as well, a pretty easy shot at goal.
Yeah, full credit to Matthew Ridge, who followed up here. Total persistence. Now watch it from this angle. You see the fullback appears favourite to win the ball there. Well, that's not stealing, but it is poaching a try.
Absolutely. I think the coach will not be pleased, though. Wagambi will not be pleased that there was no protection for Bucco at all.
And Matthew Ridge converts his own try, so New Zealand goes 6 points clear of Papua New Guinea in the opening moments of this game. 5 minutes played, New Zealand 6, Papua New Guinea 0.
There should definitely have been a couple of Kummel forwards standing in front of Bucco there to give him some protection from the bomb. There was nobody standing in front, nobody helping him at all, and just a lot of Kiwis coming straight in on him. There comes the bomb. Here's Ridge moving in, pinches it straight out of his paws, nearly drops it, but it hangs on and he's over.
It was almost a pass from Bucco, wasn't it? Nice catch by Jones. They must be a little disillusioned with that, Papua New Guinea, because they'd taken the game to the opposition, but up pops Matthew Ridge with that try, and it's New Zealand who are in front.
They've done nothing wrong until that moment, have they? But now they find themselves 6 points down.
That was Lowry. This is Freeman again, and the ball moving along nicely here. This is promising for the New Zealanders again. Into the line goes Ruben Wiki. Williams. Freeman's going to be heavily involved again. And I think that they were considerably stung, New Zealand, by the Tongan performance. They came so close to losing that match. They won't want the same scenario this evening. Freeman. Now Jones, Stacey Jones, he's a wick little player, he's gone brilliantly here. Hurls the ball back, picked up by Tony Kemp. Great danger here to the Papua New Guinea defence, although Kemp has gone round in circles. He was on the magic roundabout there. Lowry, a little chip ahead, and that's a safe enough catch for James Cox.
I think to be fair to Kemp, he was looking for a runner, he couldn't find one, he was waiting for somebody to come off him, nobody did. In the end, he just got buried under the defence.
from acting half-back. The ball is with Namdoye.
Big hit there. Cummel's forward certainly felt that one, yeah.
We've seen big hits everywhere, haven't we, over the last 7 days now? My goodness me, is that what it is? 7 days, 2,000 miles, I know that. Oops, that's all right, because the ball didn't go forward. Just bounced off one Papua player to another, but on the last tackle now, you would expect a kick from Lamb, and that's exactly what happens. Hoists it high, hoists it long, Matthew Ridge across, and he'll collect, and he's got plenty of time to run it out from behind his own line. And here goes that former All Black fullback. Supporting him is Sean Hoppy, and Sean Hoppy's hopping off his right foot, and he's made a break through the middle. He's a good winger, this fellow. He scored a very simple try against Tonga. It got them back into the match, but he's a good player.
He didn't do himself justice on the last Kiwi tour. He's one of a number of players who perhaps didn't. He's certainly showing some form on this one.
Walk off, come on.
From Freeman, it goes to Stephen Kearney, another who had a big game against Tonga. A man who was close to death only last year when he fell off a balcony and was taken to hospital, but he's back and fully fit now, all right. And a penalty awarded by Mr. Cummings. It's run by Freeman straight away. Watch out for a big burst here from Mark Horrow. In from the start tonight. He was subbed the other night. Freeman again. Across the line is Wiki.
First time Horrow started the test for 5 years.
That is a good statistic. Lowry. Yeah, of course, he made his debut alongside his brother, didn't he, Sean? Now Jones. Oh, it's a lovely dummy, and it must be a try for Richie Blackmore. Simple as you like. Try number 2 for the New Zealand Kiwis. The Papua New Guineans have got a big problem on their hands here. You don't stop somebody of the power, the pace, the poise of Richard Blackmore. It's a simple gift for him, that. And Stacey Jones is already pulling the strings.
It certainly is. There's big danger for Papua New Guinea here. The Kiwis look really fired up tonight to give it all they've got. Here goes Stacey Jones, fakes a pass, whips it behind the man. Nice ball from Kemp out to Blackmore. Nobody in front of him. Nobody's going to stop him anyway from that range. He just strolls over and puts the ball down. Good try for the Kiwis, and the danger for Papua. There have been 2 chances for New Zealand. They've taken both of them. They're 10 points up already. Here's Jones, fakes the pass, flips it away. Kemp puts the long ball out, and Blackmore, there's nobody there. He's got a man outside him, doesn't need him. Straight over the line.
And Richard Blackmore's try-scoring feats just go on and on and on. That's 13 for him now. On the night he wins his 14th cap. He scored 2 tries against Tonga. He got 2 on his test debut against France. So don't bet against him getting another one tonight. Now Matthew Ridge. Not the perfect angle for a right-footed kicker. Always a danger you pull it across the face of goal. But he's drifted this one in beautifully. And it's a great start for the Kiwis. 2 converted tries, 12 points to 0 they lead. And already Papua New Guinea have a big problem.
The Kiwis are already looking like they're going to be almost out of sight. Only 10 minutes gone, 12 points up. The Kumuls have desperately got to get their act together. They've got to stop the Kiwis scoring every time they get down there. They've been down there twice so far. They've scored both times. We see it's Stacey Jones. This is the reason why Stacey Jones is first choice at half-back. Lovely ball to Kemp. Kemp flicks it out to Blackmore. The Kumuls just aren't there. Blackmore over.
Those aerial shots do illustrate graphically just how good this half-back Jones is. Created the space. Blackmore exploited it. And they're running with great purpose at the moment. This is Jason Lowry, a huge tank of a man. Blackmore there with 12 points now registered in this World Cup. His 3rd try, and Tony Kemp, a man who's had huge experience in this country with Doncaster, Castleford and now Leeds, of course. Now Kearney.
The problem the Kumuls have always had is they simply don't have the beef up front to match these guys. They're very hard, about as hard as anything you'll come across, the Highlanders particularly.
Freeman's kick. It's a dangerous looking one. It has gone towards that try line and just falling on it in the nick of time was Lamb.
Like a good half-back Lamb, he's as good in defence as he is in attack. He was there to snuff out the danger very quickly indeed there.
Frank Endicott, not showing much emotion at the moment, but he must be much happier than he was 5 days ago, when his side looked as though they were going to suffer a really humiliating defeat at the hands of Tonga. That would not have gone down well at all.
I think Frank's P45 was already in the post last week, but they pulled it back out of the box, and I think he's looking like he might be okay for a few more days at least.
Well, you see, the problem here is that they've made absolutely no ground, and they're already on their last tackle. Lamb skips away. That's a dangerous ball. He's done really well to take it. That's an exciting bit of rugby league from Papua New Guinea, involving David Gomea and Lamb. But the ball already back in the hands of Blackmore, who plunges on towards that 25-yard line.
It was desperate improvisation by Papua New Guinea, though. It didn't come off. They turned the ball over to the Kiwis deep in their own territory.
Ridge. He spotted a gap there, so it was fair enough to go for it, but Mamando hauled him down. Freeman now. Jones misses out Pongia. And then it's on through the hands here is Wiki. Jason Williams will be acting half-back now, on his place in the side tonight. Some clear determination on the faces of the New Zealanders this evening. They're hell-bent on a victory. Well, that was a little bit too guileful from Jones. I think he fooled his own man.
Misunderstanding between Jones and Pongia. Pongia wasn't expecting the ball. When he got it, he couldn't hang on to it.
Well, more spirit shown there by Michael Angra, one of the only two Papua players who've played in England before. Max Tiri is the other one, the two second rowers.
No doubt about who the crowd's on the side of tonight, John, is it? Every Papua New Guinea move is being cheered to the rafters by St Helens.
Well, they won a lot of friends here in that appearance against Lancashire 8 years ago. And any side in the yellow and red will be well supported, as they were at Hull the other night against Tonga. The crowd weren't quite sure who to cheer for that night. Another purposeful burst from Elias Payo. And a penalty will be awarded Papua New Guinea's way.
He made an absolute meal of that, but the referee enjoyed the performance and he's given them a penalty. I can't believe that. The man was, if he was anything at all, he had two fingers laid on him gently by Gary Freeman. I certainly didn't see there was that much power in Freeman's fingers to send him flying backwards like that. There he goes. Very nice. Reverse backflip.
Yeah,
with
absolutely. Yeah, 5.9. And it was a quite wretched penalty kick. He's put the ball almost behind him into the crowd, so they've made no yardage whatsoever. And another penalty is awarded against the Kiwis.
Went down very, very well indeed with the St Helens fans once more.
Yeah, and again they kick for touch, and surely a better one coming up this time from Payo. Gary Freeman, as you see, made that debut all of 9 years ago. He's winning his 45th cap tonight. He's 9 ahead of anybody else who's ever worn the black and white colours.
He's been a great, great player for New Zealand, but I think Frank Endacott feels he isn't the team player that Stacey Jones is.
First man up is Max Tiri, the vice-captain. Not sure that was properly played, but the crowd are roaring on these Papuans. How they relish a try for them. It would give us a bit of a contest as well, because all the inklings at the moment are that it's going to be a New Zealand walkover. Oh, a shame that one was put to ground. There was a real opportunity there. James Cox coming in off his line, couldn't hold on, and the chance has gone away now.
The two most dangerous Kumul players, I think, combining there, Adrian Lamb and the number 10 prop, David Wesley. He's had a big season for Canberra Raiders in the Australia competition, David Wesley, and he's the one forward with the real size and power to take the Kiwis on up front.
Stuart Cummings, referee tonight, says it's a Papuan put in, and they'll have the ball from the scrum, and they've got chances here. Bit of a sleight of hand, and they look for a gap. There's none forthcoming yet for Buko, one of those who plays for Goroka Royals back home. Payo now. Buko again, and a storming run from him. He's wanting to make up for the error of his ways, and there'll be a penalty for the Papua New Guinea side now.
Not for the first time in his career, John. Gary Freeman's being penalised for roughing somebody up in the tackle. He loves a bit of niggle. He loves to get in there and rough the big men up. There he goes. He puts the elbow in. The referee spotted it. The Papuan spotted it as well. And Freeman gives away a penalty.
Yeah, not good enough there.
Freeman can hardly believe it. Who, me?
Penalty for Papua New Guinea then. And hooker Elias Payo, the man who got a try and 4 goals against Tonga, will take this one, have a pot at goal and try and get some points on the board for them. That will just lift their morale. Freeman twice now has been the one to blame.
As I say, it won't be the first time in his career, and I'm sure it won't be the last either. But Payo's been very impressive in the loose so far. I thought he's shown up as well as any of the couple forwards.
I've not seen a single player sin-binned in this World Cup until last night, and that was in the very last minute when it didn't really matter anyway.
I think there might be one or two more to come. Perhaps in Swansea on Sunday we might see one or two.
Yes, as the contest intensifies, you can expect that sort of thing to happen more frequently. So, Elias Payot. Tanagawa. Stocky chap. Got a good boot on him, as he proved at Hull. Around the corner style. Has he employed it? Well, he has. It soars high and handsome between the sticks, and Papua New Guinea have their first points of the night. They're now just 12 points to 2 behind, courtesy of Payot's penalty kick.
And that's the most popular score of the night so far, despite the fact it was a goal rather than a try. The Saints fans are cheering the Kumuls on at every opportunity. I think Henry Paul from Wigan in the Kiwi side is what's putting him off.
They'll have the ball again. Well, they do run straight at the opposition. They're not afraid of them, despite their lack of inches. They're not big fellows in terms of height, but they're well built.
As Carl Fairbank once said to me after his first game against them, they may be small persons, but they hit extremely hard. And he didn't say persons, and he didn't say extremely.
And another spirited break. That was John Okul. Now David Wesley from Canberra Raiders. The crowd really behind them. That's great stuff from Wesley. And he's got play up to the New Zealand halfway line. The crowd sympathies definitely with Papua New Guinea as the underdogs in this match. Oh, he nearly found a gap there. Knocked his man down. Joe Tokum, the Papua New Guinea coach, not too happy with the events of the first 10 minutes, but they seem to be settling a little now. And there's a lovely touch finder from Lamb. Just what they needed to get up close to that New Zealand line again.
Adrian Lamb's kicking like a dream. He's the boss of the whole play for Papua New Guinea. He's something of a national hero as well. He's like Ian Botham, Gary Lineker and Princess Diana all rolled into one. He's the #1 hero. He could have played for Australia in this tournament. He said, no chance, mates. I'm going home to Papua New Guinea. I'm going to play for them.
They always say about him, he could be Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea if he really wants.
He probably will be one day.
Well, apparently the current Prime Minister is a relative, so yeah, he does have a chance.
Never know, Lee Crooks might be Foreign Secretary one day as well.
Wouldn't bet on that. Blackmore. Oh, they're performing quite creditably at the moment, Papua New Guinea. Remember, they're very much new, not as new as Fiji and Western Samoa and Tonga, but they are very much new still to International Rugby League. It's only their third time competing in the World Cup. Well, they have won home matches against France and Great Britain and New Zealand before.
Kearney took a whack from Payot on the ground there. The referee gave the penalty for roofing the ball away, but Kearney certainly copped for one as Payot went in on top of him.
No, I think Freeman's going to be involved in everything tonight. Good and bad, isn't he? 20 minutes played, though. New Zealand 12, Papua New Guinea 2. The game going very much as expected, I suppose. And I'll be interested to hear John Gallagher and Sonny Wakaru at half-time in the studio here on Live Sport with their views. Oh, here's a dangerous break from Wiki. Wiki was unlucky not to get a try against Tonga. He had one disallowed, which replay should probably have been allowed.
Nice ball away from Jason Lowry, set that up. Another penalty.
And you really got to fancy New Zealand's chances. Oops, that ball was knocked away there by Lamb, I think.
Gary Freeman was generously pointing that out to the referee in case he hadn't seen it.
Yeah, Gary Freeman's not perhaps in the referee's good books at the moment. And I think they're going to take a pot at goal here, which may not go down too well with the St Helens faithful. 3 penalties conceded apiece, and Matthew Ridge will try and punish the latest one.
It's a professional thing to do. They're only 12-2 ahead. They can stretch the lead to 12 points with this, and it's well within Matthew Ridge's range. I think the big danger for the Kumuls tonight is going to be whether they can last the full 80 minutes and keep their game up for the whole of that 80 minutes. In the past, they've always played well for 40, 50, maybe 60 minutes, but that just isn't enough against opposition of this quality.
Well, most teams have done, to be fair. There have been matches where we thought the opposition might crumble in the later stages, but they haven't done. Even South Africa fought to the bitter end. Here's Ridge again, and it's sailing in. Nice goal kick from Matthew Ridge, his 3rd success of the evening, and it takes the New Zealanders 14-2 ahead.
Probably 3 of the only people in the ground who were applauding that one. The Saints fans booing their hearts out, but it doesn't make any difference. There's a score, 14-2, midway through the first half.
It's a good crowd here at Knowsley Road. That's good to see as well. At Warrington the other night we had about 8,000 and 9,000 at Cardiff for the Wales-France game. 26,000, a wonderful crowd at Wigan, of course, just along the M62 corridor. And that was neat. Oh, and he's picked the ball up. Well, they really do have some good ideas. And there was Elias Payo doing really well. Adrian Lamb, the longer pass. Into the action comes John Ockle. Great, terrific stuff this from Ockle. He's kept going and he's up towards that New Zealand 25 now. He'll find Payo at his shoulder, and here they come, spinning the ball to the right. And that big second row forward, Max Thierry, gets involved as well. The crowd baying for blood, baying for a Papua New Guinea try. They switch it, and the loose forward here has got a tilt. That's Bruce Mamando. From Mamando to Payo, and Payo goes himself towards that line, gets it away. Mamando, here's the pass, and it might be a score. The ball away, no, the tackle is good. The tackle on Ockle was a good one. They've still got chances. It's close to that try line, but that's the handover, and New Zealand hold them out.
What a great passage of play from Papua New Guinea there. They caught the Kiwis napping from the kick-off. They brought play down there. They were almost over a couple of times. Couldn't quite break the last line of Kiwi defence.
Well, they're applauding every tackle here. They love their rugby league in St Helens, just as they do at Wigan, of course, and at Warrington and at Widnes, all these famous Lancashire towns, famous for rugby league more than anything else. Danger again to Papua's defence as New Zealand get close towards halfway.
The rugby league people always love an underdog.
Oh yes, Stacey Jones now. This is danger. He's so quick, this fellow. He's got good hands as well, but this time the fullback does make a good stop, and Stacey Jones scrags him. Just grabbed that size 13 and a half. Got him down. Now it's picked up by Cops.
Slight suggestions the Kiwis might have been offside there.
Yeah, I think they probably were offside, and the crowd imploring Mr. Cummings to blow the whistle, but he didn't do so. This fellow Thierry's having a good night.
Very, very experienced forward for the Crummels. He's played against Great Britain a few times.
Looks for the kick over the top, Stanley Genny. Last tackle. Lamb, nobody better to kick, and again he's popped a little beauty in there, and he's not missing a trick.
His kicking game is really, really important for the Crummels. They've not had a player with Lamb's kicking ability before. He's putting the pressure on the Kiwis, he's making them turn and go back, he's keeping the ball deep in Kiwi territory. That's exactly what you need. Perfectly judged kick here from him. Crummels once more pressing the Kiwis in their territory, but New Zealand should come up with a ball, and they've got the forwards to drive it away from here.
New Zealand will heel from this scrum, and Stacey Jones will get his fingers on that one. Cross the line from Paul. Blackmore, out wide is Hoppy, and Hoppy will go down the touchline, and he'll fall to a good strong challenge from James Cops. Into touch he goes.
Good tackle from Cops. Good tackle from Cops, but very poor play from Hoppy there. On the second tackle, he should never have gone into touch. First tackle even, he should have gone down well before this.
Yeah, he rolls him over and over and over.
Big chance for the Crummels now. They've got the ball, they should get possession from this.
Nice to see them get on the try sheet before half-time from the crowd's point of view anyway, and that's a good little move and a good attempted tackle, but he keeps on going, does Bucco. He looks much better in attack than he did in defence in those early minutes.
He certainly does.
The left wing who's playing on the right wing is Kuoro. Plays for Port Moresby Vipers. Well, let's hope he's got a bit of sting tonight.
They just need to settle themselves, the Crummels, take a couple of drives, get themselves organised, and then put a move on.
Popular touring side, but New Zealand is still in the driving seat in this match. There's another great burst from that prop forward, David Wesley. He's had a couple of tremendous tilts at the New Zealand line. Lamb, a longer ball from him. This straight running centre, John Ockle, is within 10 yards of the line, and a penalty is going to be given to Papua New Guinea. And Mr. Cummings is handing in Papua another opportunity for another couple of points here.
And that shows the pressure that the Crummels are putting on the Kiwis, that they had to give that penalty away. The Crummels maybe would have hoped to have carried on and gone for the 4 points, but they're certainly not going to turn down the free offer of 2.
It will get them within 8 points. This is what happened.
Bit of roughing up at the play the ball. Pongia there pushes him over, doesn't let him get up quickly to play the ball, and pays the penalty for it.
Pongia was sent off the last time he was over here at Odsal against Bradford Northern, as they were in those days.
He threw in a wild high tackle on the far side the last time the Cummels were down this end, so he wasn't too far from doing it again.
So Payot looking for 2 more points. Not a difficult kick. He's got a 100% record so far, and again he adopts this round the corner style. And if he gets it, it really will encourage Papua New Guinea, bring some self-belief back after that stunning start that the New Zealanders made with those 2 tries in the first 10 minutes. And here he comes, full of concentration, and a lapse because he misses. Drifts wide of that far upright. That's a bad miss.
Very poor miss, not quite full enough for concentration, I'm afraid, and that's a big let-off for the Kiwis. The Cummels have to take every chance that comes their way. They're not going to get that many. They should have had the points there.
13 minutes left in this first half, and New Zealand have the advantage. 14-2, tries from Matthew Ridge and Richie Blackmore. A reasonably even contest. Here's Kworu. Oh, and another lapse in concentration there. Poor handling this time by Max Tiri. A blemish on his night, but you see how the Cummels have now got a territorial advantage.
I think that's the biggest surprise of the night so far. The Cummels in the past, they've played some very exciting football, but they haven't played to a disciplined game plan. I've been very impressed with the way they've stuck at it tonight. They've got a plan, they're sticking to it, and they're troubling the Kiwis.
Jones again, he kidded his marker, got away from him beautifully. We're going to hear a lot more about Stacey Jones in this game of rugby league, I'm sure. Now Tony Kemp. Henry Paul. And the crowd like that. The Wigan man brought to ground very quickly. But Freeman's there. So is the hooker. The prop forward Pongia. Jones times the pass beautifully, and Lowry knocked his man off. He just swatted him away, and Lowry's taken play now to within 15 yards of that Papua New Guinea line, and they'll run it and try for a third try, and it's surely going to be Wiki. Wiki, if he can get the ball down, will score, but he's held up on his back over the line. And that's great defensive work from Papua New Guinea just when Wiki looked a certain scorer.
They've been caught short on that far side of the field, if you know what I mean, John. They were one defender down against the Kiwis. They did very, very well to keep him out there.
Well, that's the second time in this World Cup that Wiki's gone over the line and not been able to ground the ball. So one wonders when his first try is going to come. I think one of the differences might be tonight in the strength in depth. When you look at New Zealand with Gene Namu, Hitro Cassini, Kevin Iro and Tony Iro on the bench, you think that they've got to come on and make an impact at some stage.
Those Iro brothers are going to be big danger, man. And if the Cummels are tiring later on, those aren't 2 guys you want to see coming on and running at you, fresh and full of energy.
But with only 10 minutes to go to half-time, it's only 12 points that New Zealand lead by. And here is Matthew Ridge running things out from full-back. Williams. So 5 tackles to come. Henry Paul. Blackmore backs away the first, falls to the second. Freeman.
Henry Paul's not really got into this game yet tonight, and he's got a lot to prove as well. Frank Endicott's got very mixed opinions of him. He thinks he's a match winner and a match loser, and I think it's down to Paul to show which he's going to do tonight.
Well, that's right. He can't make his mind up where to play him, and he's been playing him on the wing, of course, whereas his club side play him at full back. Now, Kemp chances now as the ball is out to the right wing, and nicely taken by Hoppy. Comes inside, finally goes to ground, and last tackle. So from Freeman to Jones. The high kick now, then they've suffered the consequences once from these kicks, and where on earth is it? The referee will award the
penalty for offside there.
Yeah, way offside. Penalty awarded to Papua New Guinea. The ball was swirling around there.
The bomb didn't go really deep enough from Jones. The Kiwis had to slow up, wait for it to land, and in the end it was just bouncing around in no man's land, and the offside decision went against him. I'm not sure that Frank Endicott is right about Henry Paul. I think you can say that Martin Offio sometimes will lose you a game, but he'll win you an awful lot of ones as well. I don't think anybody in their right minds would leave him out of a team. I think you talk to anybody in British Rugby League, they'll say he's the most gifted player around.
So Papua New Guinea from this play the ball within 10 yards of the halfway line. And they've not conceded a try since the 10th minute when Richie Blackmore scored, and at that stage you really thought that New Zealand might pile on a big score tonight, but it's not turned out that way.
And that's all credit to the Kumuls. They've really kept their concentration, kept their act together, and now they've got a penalty. And they're taking a quick one.
They have indeed. They're willing to run it again. And the crowd again warming to the performance of the Papuans. Certainly asking some big questions of this New Zealand defence at the moment. Out from Payot, and then from Lam. Oh, dearie me, that was a big hit, but I think it was totally accidental.
I think it looked worse than it did because he lost his footing as he went in.
He slithered into that one. There was nothing wrong with the tackle. And they've got the ball away again, and they continue to run well with Ockle. Ockle's having a really good game. Now they've got chances. This is Lam. He goes for the line, and Lam is just caught, not once, but twice there. It looked for a moment as though Adrian Lam was going to scoot over that New Zealand try line. They might still have a score. The ball is flung out high, and the standoff half. He's held up Stanley Genney. They're no more than 5 yards out, but can they breach that line? The referee awards another penalty against New Zealand.
Stephen Kearney being called out there, and great football from the Kumuls in that move. Superb inside pass from Gomia to get him going, and Adrian Lam just shows how dangerous he is and how quick. There was a half an inch of a gap there, and he was through it like electric. Stephen Kearney getting a bit of a word from the ref.
Well, he has had disciplinary problems in the past, Kearney, hasn't he? It was all... They dumped him there, didn't they?
The brutal hit from Pongia there. That wasn't what the penalty was for, though.
No, it wasn't. They're going to run it. That's what the crowd wanted to see. Run it they do with Angra. 5 more tackles from here. 5 chances for Papua New Guinea to breach that New Zealand line for the first time. That was the big prop, Nandier. Lam could be instrumental here, but where is he going? The hooker, he might be going all the way. He's very close, Elias Payot.
Terrible confusion among the Kumuls about what was actually going there. They've got to keep cool and keep their head.
They've got to find a chink in the armour. They've got to find a gap somewhere. The New Zealand defence holding well so far. Lam still manages to squeeze his pass away. And then rather sloppily, Michael Angra concedes possession, and full marks to the New Zealand defence this time as they hold on.
They took a lot of pressure there, the Kiwis, and they held out against it well. The Kumuls just got a bit overexcited. They could see the line, they could smell the winning bonus, and unfortunately they put the ball to the ground.
See, New Zealand have already had to make 68 tackles. It shows the way the Papua New Guinea side has come at them. Tony Kemp was looking a bit groggy a moment ago.
I don't think you can have too much praise for the way they've performed in this first half, the Kumuls. The Kiwis really only have had those 2 chances. Sadly for the Kumuls, they've scored from both of them.
But now they concede a penalty rather unnecessarily. And he's complaining, is Joshua Kuoro, that he was held.
Bit of Alex Murphy's best claret tricking down his cheekbones there as well.
A bit of roughing up going on here. Not the best of pals at that particular moment. Williams and Kuoro.
Well, forget it all, over a pint in the bar afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. Pint of orange juice, of course.
Absolutely. Slow hand clap from the Saints fans, they don't like it.
Well, it's a very interesting situation, this, because New Zealand led Tonga by a similar scoreline at half-time in their first game, and then conceded advantage in the second half when the Tongas ran in 3 quick tries. So they'll be wary of not doing the same. Kearney's hit this time. And they're hauling back.
They're defending very well, the Kumuls, and the Kiwis have had to get through a lot of work in defence themselves, which they wouldn't have been expecting.
But you still feel as though New Zealand have the cutting edge here to produce a try out of nothing, with the likes of Blackmore and Wiki and Jones, and who knows now. It's a great run, great piercing run from Sean Hoppy, who'd switched from his right flank position to carry the fight to Papua, and there's danger now to that Papua New Guinea line. Stacey Jones shows it, he loves to do that, times the pass. Well, does he? Well, he's still got hold of it. He's a little magician, this fella, you're never quite sure. On the last tackle, Freeman goes for the line, delays the pass, pulls it back inside, and it'll be the handover as Mark Horrow is held close to that Papua line.
Again, all credit to the Cumhall defence there. They held out against it. Freeman loves to do that. Slip the ball to a runner, nip round the back for the return pass, but the tackle was good. He couldn't get it.
4 minutes to half-time. New Zealand leading Papua New Guinea by 14 points to 2. But a very close contest. Certainly after the New Zealand second try, there's been nothing in it. And another good run from Mamando.
Those two Canberra players have been very good.
Lamb, he spotted a gap up the middle and off he goes. Such an exciting runner.
Look at the speed of that man. He's like Alex Murphy in his prime when he gets going.
And this fella's not bad either. And he kicks ahead. And the standoff half, Stanley Genney, has impressed at times this evening too. He was one of their try scorers at the Boulevard against Tonga. And really you do feel as though Papua need a try before half-time.
They deserve one, I think. They've put their guts into this performance. They've played well, but when they get close to the line, they don't seem to have the same edge the Kiwis do.
No, they don't. That's Kemp running it, and then from Paul, goes along the line. Wickie's done well to get that one back inside. And it's the New Zealand who keep the ball alive this time. Paul finally dumped to the ground by Payot. Kearney holds it up well, slips the pass away. And, no ground for Williams to make there.
Jason Williams getting some treatment in those two tackles.
Well, the Papuans have certainly improved on their defensive performances since the last time they were in this country.
They're very, very well organised tonight. They've done well. They were caught out a couple of times early on, but they've really tightened it up and they're doing well.
And if you remember the last time they were over here, they conceded a record number of points to Wales. But they've improved since then, beyond all recognition, it would seem. However, the ball is hoisted by Paul. There might be chances here. They don't like these high kicks. And who's going to come up with that one? The answer is New Zealand are.
6 more for the Kiwis. It bounced off a Cumhall player.
Yeah, and here is Ridge. Kearney going around in circles. This time is Lowry. Gets the pass away. They've got great chances. Stacey Jones just looking and he can't get a pass out. And then the ball is lost. The referee looks to the touch judges and awards the penalty New Zealand's way. And it's a surefire 2 points for Matthew Ridge coming up.
It's a disappointment for the Crown, a big disappointment for the Cumhalls. Again, perhaps the professional thing to do, it's give away a penalty if you're in danger of conceding a try. They did look a bit ragged there as the Kiwis piled the pressure on, but this is 2 gift points for Matthew Ridge. He's not going to miss this one.
This is it. He goes down, Stacey Jones. Now, how does the ball get out there?
Well,
even slow motion replays prove nothing really. But it's a good opportunity, this one, for Matthew Ridge to pop over his 4th of the night.
Henry Paul's definitely coming more into the game the last few minutes. He had a very quiet start to the game. He wasn't showing much. He's beginning to take control in midfield, and that also spells danger for the Cumhalls.
And Ridge does kick his 4th goal of the evening, and New Zealand go into a 16 points to 2 lead in the last minute of this first half, which has generally been very even.
The only real edge the Kiwis have had is in the amount of yardage their forwards have been capable of making. Only really David Wesley and to some extent Bruce Mamando have been able to match the Kiwis. The Kiwis have been taking 10 metres out of them on every drive.
Wesley's had 2 very good runs. But Matthew Ridge there with his 4th goal to go with a try. He's now got 12 out of the 16 points scored by the Kiwis on the night. And it looks as though that's good enough to give them a 16-2 lead at the interval. It's not been a hugely impressive New Zealand performance, and yet they'll be the happier of the 2 sides as the hooter sounds at the end of this first half. 2 early tries from Matthew Ridge and Richie Blackmore. 4 goals from Ridge against a penalty goal by Elias Payot. Give us a half-time score here at St Helens of New Zealand 16, Papua New Guinea 2. We're back after the break. To Knowsley Road as the Cumhalls take the field for the second half here. They are 16 points to 2 behind, and they've a big job on their hands. We look to see if any substitutions have been made by coach Joe Tokum. The New Zealand is already out, and interesting to hear John Gallagher's comments in the studio there about the score not really reflecting the game, and that's been our view here too. The funny thing is, we feel as though we've been sounding all but biased towards Papua New Guinea because the crowd are roaring them on. I assure you we're not at all. But the Papuans have really, Neil Hansen, carried the fight to New Zealand.
They've played tremendously well tonight. They've played with a discipline that I haven't seen them play with before. They've had a game plan, they've stuck to it. This guy on shot at the moment. Adrian Lamb is such a good player. He's outstanding. He's the best thing since sliced breadfruit in Papua New Guinea, and he's set the right lead for them. David Wesley has put in a big game as well, and the Kiwis have got some problems. But that's one of the things, John. They're playing 4 guys who are normally used to calling the shots in the team. There's Gary Freeman, Stacey Jones, Tony Kemp and Henry Paul. And perhaps they're just too many chiefs and not enough of the other kind.
It's certainly a fascinating battle at half-back with Stacey Jones up against Adrian Lamb. And Stanley Genny's done pretty well too, up against Henry Paul.
I've been very impressed with both their half-back. But the big test is now.
Yes, this is the test. 40 minutes to go, and New Zealand, if they win this one, will be through to the semi-finals. Tonga, of course, already eliminated with just 1 point from their 2 games, and I think general opinion is that they are very, very unlucky to have taken only 1 point from 2 games. The Tongans have won many hearts here in England with their displays.
I was delighted to see, John, they're bringing them back for another short tour quite soon, because I think they'll be a very big draw.
But also, as Sonny Wakaru was saying in the studio there, I think the difference in some ways has been when New Zealand have attacked as they do now with Kearney, they've run straight and they've made greater yardage.
They probably have several pounds a man advantage in the forwards, and they've been making it tell. Bit of a fumble there.
Young Freeman at the heart of things. What's that, mate? He says to Stuart Cummings. With a wry smile, the referee tells him.
There's the ball on the ground. Freeman gets up to play it. Seemed to be okay.
I think it was before that, actually, wasn't it? Funny feeling it was. Anyway, the Papuans have the ball out of that scrum. Get out of the way, says the referee Cummings. What are you doing there? That's James Copps. Well, they've had 2 or 3 good performers. I think John Ockle has run well too, and so has this man Max Tirry. Just 1 blemish on his first half performance when he put a simple ball down. Now it's David Wesley, one of the biggest men in the pack.
His stint with Canberra has done him a power of good as well.
They need a try early in the second half, though, to Papua New Guinea. Well, they came back strongly against Tonga in the second half, but the Boulevard at Hull. Oh, the chance was just there. Wesley pouncing on the ball, made 5 or 6 yards.
Last tackle.
Away from Tirry now. Little kick for touch, and he'll find it as well. So, useful possession football from Papua New Guinea. A nice little kick and a pat on the back for him at the end of that. That's the job well done, son.
We've very rarely in the past seen Papua New Guinea have an equal share or dominate play territorially as they have tonight. Adrian Lamb's one of the big reasons. His kicking game's been superb for them.
But it's New Zealand's put in through Stacey Jones. And this should mean it's 4 scrums apiece.
Stacey Jones fumbled it round the back of the scrum there. I think the Krummels got a great chance here.
They've got to make their possession close to the line count. Again, it's Kearney who is pulled out. Matthew Ridge as captain going alongside Kearney. As I said in the first half, he's had his disciplinary problems. And, well, he listens to Mr. Cummins, nods his head. Let's see if he makes the same mistake again. Anyway, Lamb will have the put-in for Papua, who need a score.
They won't get a better chance to get one. They're in a great position.
Great position. There it goes from Lamb. Across the line, coming into it now, Ockle. Held up the first time, and again, as John Gallagher said, the New Zealand defence has been extremely impressive so far. Now the loose forward, he runs straight as Mamando. The crowd are warming to him. I think 1 or 2 English scouts might be looking at the likes of Mamando. And another great tilt towards that line from Max Tirry, the most experienced man in the team. Almost there, so close, isn't he? He's trying to take 3 of them over with him, Payo. Waiting is Wesley, the big man, the number 11. He'll fling it out. Lamb, the longer ball from Lamb. They've got chances here. The loose forward involved again, Mamando. Forced over the line, though, and they've just again shown that lack of flair and imagination which would produce a score.
There was plenty of imagination, plenty of flair from Adrian Lamb there. That was an absolutely brilliant ball out. Unfortunately for the Krummels, Mamando hung on to it too long. He could have looked for the inside pass. He could have offloaded. In the end, he was pushed into touch. Frank Endicott will be looking for the Kiwis to just take 6 tackles now, settle themselves down and drive this ball away.
Freeman gives the pass. Onto it comes Blackmore now. And we look to see whether the Kiwis are capable of some long-distance runs. Pongia from Canberra. Freeman again. It's a short ball, but it was okay, and Freeman back in possession for a second time. You see, they've got up to the halfway line already. Away it goes, nice spinning ball. Stacey Jones finds a gap, and he's through it and looks for support. He's really wick, is this little fella. It's on the last tackle now, though. Oh, and a great burst here from the standoff half. Henry Paul. Well, the coach might have his doubts about him, Frank Endicott, but Paul was very slick there.
Reminded me a bit of Jonathan Davis, the way he faked the kick and then stepped off the right foot and burst past two defenders. Unfortunately for New Zealand, the kick was a bit too strong. He was under pressure as he made it, and it ran into the in-goal area.
Yeah, I think when he looks at the replay of this later, he'll wonder if he might have been able to give a pass. He may have been a bit too quick for everybody, but there was a man at his shoulder in Ridge.
Big ooh from the crowd, and another big hit went in.
David Wesley, for the umpteenth time tonight, makes good ground. Away from Pio. Tiri's a glutton for work in this half.
Certainly is. I think Frank Endicott will be warming up some subs very shortly if the Kiwis don't take a grip of this game. Free gift.
That was a false ball, and Richie Blackmore only too happy to accept the pass which came from Tiri. A mistake by Tiri. He's only made a couple on the night, but they can prove so costly. Back inside from Wiki to Ridge, and Ridge has got his wingman Williams flying down the touchline. Williams still going, might get all the way, hauled to ground by Ockle, but it's a great shot. Oh, the ball lost, and a penalty will be awarded to the Kiwis here in a great position. They'll run it, and Williams will go straight at that line. Can't force his way over. Wiki waits. Flings the ball out now. Freeman across the line, Jones. Back in comes Paul. There's a huge overlap on that right-hand side, but they've been unable to exploit it. Hoppy can keep going, though. And down he goes, and New Zealand have frittered a really gilt-edged opportunity there.
Petro Cassini warming up on the touchline here, maybe coming on shortly for Lowry.
Jones again, you feel he's... Oh, now he's lost it. You feel as though he might be the man to unlock that Papua New Guinea door.
Looks very, very dangerous.
Six handling errors by the Kiwis so far to only 3 by Papua New Guinea. That's an amazing statistic. And I think 2 of them have been by that big second-row man, Max Tiri. The man with the ball this time is Westley.
Whatever happens in this game tonight, John, I think the Kumuls have shown that they're going to be a very big force in rugby league from now on.
Yes, if they can keep it going at this rate. They've certainly improved. There looked to be a bit of crossing there, but referee Cummins said play on. Cox away for Mamando. Last tackle, so look for the kick here from Gene. Williams has to play football with him, and they'll get him. They nail him. Tuoro was up on him very quickly there.
Williams will drop back to cover the kick, and there's big pressure on him.
Now Henry Paul looking for that gap. He's run a long way across there, but he's not really made much headway. Forced to the double tackle of Cops and Gumia. They just looked at that little bit more pace, a little bit more edge, though, the Kiwis. And there you see Blackmore getting the ball away for Tony Kemp.
Well, the Kumuls are tackling everything that moves. They're putting everything into it.
Kearney now. This big, big man, and they can't haul him down. And, well, he was looking, and they've ram-railed him back, and still he comes again. That just shows the power of the man, and all that work on the weights is paying off for him. That's a better move. Oh, it's a sharp run this time from Wiki. He steps over his man. Williams was in support, and a penalty is going to be awarded against the Papua New Guinea left wing man, Joshua Kuoro.
The referee saw something as he made the tackle there. I think he might have had a bit of a swing.
And Okasini is coming in, but let's just have a look at this one again now.
Around the back, a bit of a facial massage there.
A bit of a facial rearrangement, I think.
Just fondling his forehead, that's all. Dangerous, though. The finger went in the eye, I think, there, and that is very, very dangerous.
Penalty awarded, and Matthew Ridge may well decide to pop this one into touch. And New Zealand will look for their first points of the half. Remember, nobody has scored in this second half, and here comes Okasini, the man who scored a try against Tonga.
First touch for Okasini, just on a sub.
Porro. Okasini had a vital impact on the game, but a penalty awarded against New Zealand, and another shake of the head from Freeman. I don't think he's all too happy with Mr. Cummings tonight.
I don't think Mr. Cummings is too happy with Gary Freeman either. And Okasini on for Lowry, that's 1-0 to me, John.
So a safe touch-finding kick for the Comals. Still no points added in the opening 10 minutes of this half to the interval score of New Zealand 16, Papua New Guinea 2. And Papua with Kuoru, the man who's just had a lecture from the witness referee. Haven't seen much of Lamb in the last few minutes, but maybe he's just biding his time. They need a breakthrough, Papua New Guinea. Remember, they're only 14 points behind. It doesn't take up a lot of making up in this game.
Whatever happens, I think, in the next half hour, John, they've already done enough to show what a force they're going to be.
And this fella has. He's had a good game, Mamando. They still want that burst of inspiration. A little flash of genius from somebody. We look to Lamb, but who knows, it could be somebody else. First man up now is Buko. A high kick came to the corner, and a fumble, and he's going to... Oh, no. The referee's whistle has already sounded. It's not a score. The Cummels thought they were over there in the shape of James Copps, and the whistle had already sounded, and Mr. Cummings is booed around the ground.
Stuart Cummings isn't popular with Gary Freeman. He's not popular with anybody in St Helens either now. Genny put the bomb up. Genny was the first man to it. He knocked it back. The ball seemed to be picked up, and I'm not sure Stuart Cummings was right. My reading of that was the ball went off a Kiwi.
It did go for Kiwi.
And I think Stuart Cummings may not be happy with that when he looks at it on the replay later on.
Okasini. The only thing could have been that the Papua New Guinea player had already been blown up for being offside in front of the kicker, and that the fumble didn't count. But anyway, we shall see. And there might be space now for New Zealand. You expect Blackmore to exploit it. It's not him as yet, though. That was Wiki. Let's have another look at this. This is a controversial moment in the match. Now then, certainly it comes off the Kiwi there. It bounces away off Hoppy.
Couldn't tell from that angle if the guy was in front of him, but I didn't think he was.
New Zealand now do try to fling the ball around a little more. They've played a pretty tight game tonight. Frank Kendicott isn't always one for the stylists. He's always had problems with his three quarters. He's found Bill McCracken, of course, here. He's still got Kevin Iro on the bench.
The Kiwis have got so many centres, though. They could feel a whole team of centres, and they take on the world with them. I think the Kiwis have looked a bit rugged, though, the last few minutes. I think the Cummels are still worrying them.
Tony Iro prepares to come on. Used to play not far away from here at Wigan. Where else? And again, the Cummels run straight and hard. Mamando, he's made a terrific yardage there. What a night he's having. Yeah, he's having a great game, Mamando. A contender for man of the match, even if Papua New Guinea lose, I imagine. Longer ball out from Genny there. The crowd roaring as Papua New Guinea come towards that New Zealand line. The fullback enterprising again, Buko in there. They really got their tails up at the moment, Papua New Guinea. But strangely, again, I've not seen much of Lamb in the last few moments. I've seen more of this man, Genny. They're looking for that first score. Oh, it's gone into New Zealand hands, and Hoppy, able to run it out, made the interception.
Lamb ran into his own man there and took a bit of a knock, but he seems to be okay.
Is it your feeling that Lamb's gone a little bit quiet in the last few minutes when really they need him at the heart of the action?
They need him there, but he's a closely marked man, and if they can use him as a decoy and put a threat on somewhere else, I'm sure we haven't seen the last of him tonight. If they show him a gap, he'll be through it.
Cassini used to be a big hero up at Carlisle, and over he goes. It looks like a spear tackle. And a penalty is certainly awarded to the Kiwis against Papua New Guinea. They know they can't do that.
In the event, it wasn't dangerous because he went right over and landed on his back, but he could easily have landed on his head. It's the most dangerous tackle there is, and rightly the referee penalised it. Tony Kemp off the field.
Yeah, you can't get away with that sort of thing. And the danger to Papua New Guinea is that that sort of blemish can be punished, because these Kiwis have got the men close to the line who can make the damage. Tony Kemp's off.
Tony Kemp having a breather.
Here's Okasini.
Tony Iro on to replace him.
To tunnel his way in. Yeah, Tony Iro on. Not a bad idea to bring on fresh lungs at this stage, and here goes Iro, but he's spilled the fast straight away.
Not the best start for him.
Well, Tony Iro didn't have the best of games, to be fair, at Wilderspool the other night. Made one calamitous mistake which led to a Tongan try, and it looked like being the killer blow, that. But New Zealand got over it and snatched the victory in the end.
First touch tonight won't have done much with confidence, will it?
They'll be made to fight all the way this evening, that is for sure. And again the crowd get behind Papua New Guinea. Maybe they're not going to cause an upset, but they've certainly won some new admirers tonight, and here is their substitute, Ben Biri. Down he goes.
There was a gap for Lam there. If Pio had kept on his feet, but they've won a penalty anyway. Pio's taken it quickly and he's off.
He's on for Angra, and good running now, Lam. This is where he might show his mettle. Big hit there on the big prop forward, Wesley. They really are keeping it going, though. Terrific stuff, this.
Great football. They deserve a try, Papua New Guinea. They've worked for it.
Yes, they do. They'll get a huge roar if they get one, but there's no way through again here for Guinea. The crowd thought that was worth a penalty if the other one was, but Mr. Cummings didn't. Here comes Mamando again. Still he runs on at them. Penalty given. But it's getting a little bit late for Papua New Guinea to be taking penalties. And
Okasini there, sitting on the tackle. They've taken another quick tap, and Lam has it again.
Well, it had to be. Guinea has got the ball away to Wesley. 5 more tackles to come. The substitute forward, a good break from him. Ben Biri, only 10 yards out. Can they get this elusive score? Inside is the centre, who has run really well again, John Ockle, from plays for Moorebank in Sydney. And they're only yards away now from that New Zealand try line. Referee says play on. Ockle will heel. The ball comes back to Lam. The longer ball. And just held, only just held, is the wingman Kuoro.
Great defence from the Kiwis again there.
Oh yes, they defend it superbly. You can take nothing away from the New Zealand defence. Frank Endicott will be happy. Lam the little kick ahead. Kenny follows. It'll go dead, with Ridge chasing it and making sure it goes out of play.
That kick just a couple of yards too strong there. They really needed to have Ridge picking that up in the in-goal and getting tackled there. There Lam, he puts the kick in. The idea was right. The strength was just too much. Kenny couldn't get up on it, and Ridge could let it run dead.
Still, we haven't had a point in this second half. 17 minutes of it played, and New Zealand way over the century mark in tackles made now.
And New Zealand warming up. Kevin Iro, another substitute, and another mistake by the Kiwis on the part.
Yeah, I don't think Frank Endicott will be too happy with his attacking side of this game, because they've defended very well. They've defended stoutly, and that's just as big a part of the game as try scoring. So Kevin Iro is indeed coming on.
Ruben Wiki off for him. Jason Williams is holding his leg like he's got a bit of a knock as well.
It's a Cummels ball. Bucco involved. But are they ever going to get a try? Forward goes Nando Ye. Again, this huge figure of a man, Ben Biri, 27 years of age.
Putting 3 big charges already, hasn't he? Lost off Highlander like the rest of them.
Yeah, Lam. Now then, this might be his moment. He's so elusive. Great running from Lam. All down 5 yards short, with every man jack of the crowd urging him on. It might be in. Oh, the standoff half. They push him over. Down he goes over the try line. The referee looks and says he's held on his back. And another unpopular decision, but I'm sure a correct one from Mr. Cummings.
I think Stuart Cummings was right on the spot. You have to say he was in the position to see whether he got it down. I don't think he did, but the Cummels are giving the Kiwis such a tough time in this half. They're playing superbly. They deserve that score. If they keep this up, they're going to get it. Adrian Lam's break was magnificent. He was almost there. Stacey Jones just got a handful and held him short. And here he is driving to the line, but 3, 4, 5 Kiwis going in. All the bodies go down. But if the referee can't see, he can't give the try.
Here they go again. Lam, you feel he could be the one, but he's 7, 8 yards short at the moment. Can they get a try? The whole crowd willing them on. Ball out from Paya. And, oh, he's over, is he this time? No, he's hauled down a yard short.
Short.
It's incredible, isn't it? They look certain to score on so many occasions, and that New Zealand line is just holding. And it holds again now, I'm sure. Oh, terrific stuff. That's great stuff from the Papua New Guinea. Oh, and a fumble close to the line. And no try again. Yeah, furious, and quite rightly so.
Tremendous applause for the Krummels there. They deserve it, but what an unfortunate way for that period of pressure to end. Wales had a great game for the Krummels tonight, but that fumble cost them dear.
Stacey Jones with the put in, and well, it's relief for New Zealand. They've actually got the ball in their hands. In Kevin Iro, the beast, makes tracks towards the Papua New Guinea line. They'll be just glad to get up towards halfway at the moment. They're taking a bit of a pummeling.
Pummeling from the fields.
Yeah, 20 minutes to go. No addition to that half-time score of 16-2. Okasini. Freeman.
I've just got to settle themselves down, John. Just play 6 tackles, make them ground.
Good in possession, and Freeman stares his opponent in the face. Was he held? No, he wasn't. The referee says play on, and that was quick thinking from Freeman. Some players would have stayed down and gone for a play of the ball. Freeman spotted his chance and took it. Now Henry Paul, and this may well be the difference. We'll see whether New Zealand can post points when they get into a position close to the Papua New Guinea line. Stacey Jones with the kick, chased by Matthew Ridge. It'll beat him to the dead ball line, and Matthew Ridge just failing to win his chase, but there is just that bit more invention perhaps about New Zealand close to the opposition line.
They're dangerous when they're close to the line, but John, they haven't been close to the line for about 15 minutes, have they? The Krummels have really been on top. There's a little kick through. Matthew Ridge is onside, he's going for it, and it's just about a yard too long for him. He dives, but the ball's already gone. That could have been a heartbreaker for the Krummels after all that pressure for the Kiwis just to come straight down the field and score. I think would have finished them. They're still in with a shout.
And the Krummels have brought on another substitute in Lucas Solbat, one of their try scorers the other night. He plays for the Rabaul club, and they need fresh legs. Well, they really are giving a heartwarming performance tonight, and the New Zealanders know they've been in a game, and that could be crucial, of course, when they come to play their next match.
David Wesley is the man to come off, John. He's had a giant of a game for them.
Solbat for Wesley. Lamb's kick angles it, but it's going to be picked up by Williams. Has to run it out, and a good chase, but he's elusive. Is Williams round the first man, inside the second. Finally he goes down.
Good kick and good chase by the Krummels. They've got the Kiwis where they want them, in their own 20, but not for long.
Freeman, Okasini willing to come in first.
Territorial advantage.
Great storming run from Okasini, carries him way over the halfway line. Kearney looks for a half gap. They managed to nail him. Stacey Jones. And then Iro back inside, and they're looking for that elusive gap. If they get one more try, that will finish the contest, because it's not over yet. Kearney. This time it's away to Pongia. Pongia flings it back in, and Lamb will dive on the ball. But there's a knock on, and we'll have a scrum.
Papua New Guinea to feed, so they've got the relief from this. Pongia tried to get the ball away around the back of the defence, went straight through the arms of Henry Paul as he came up to support.
Papua taking the scrums, just edging it 7-6 at the moment.
Nandi Yer down behind the Kiwi lines, getting some treatment. Only 12 Krummels at the moment.
Yeah, but you don't think that'll the sort of thing that will worry them, and they will have a penalty here for offside. And a raucous cheer from the locals here. I'd like to see that. Freeman's glad to be back in international football, winning his 45th cap. He really was rather miffed at being left out of the first game. That's a poor effort to the touch finder, though. Williams takes the catch and sets off. Iro.
Danger here.
There's much danger here. Blackmore coming inside is Hoppy. Still haven't got him down. And Mike Langra has come back on for Papua New Guinea with that injury to Nandi Yer. Here's his opposite number, Pongia. New Zealand there with Gene Namu on in place of Matthew Ridge. Namu started the game against Tonga. Here's a big run coming in from Horo, and that takes the play inside that Papua New Guinea 25 for the first time in a long time. Treatment being applied there to Nanda Year, and a penalty awarded against Papua New Guinea. And, well, New Zealand will not waste these opportunities.
But the one consolation for the Kumuls is that Matthew Ridge, the kicker's just gone off, so somebody else is going to have to take a kick at it. The Kiwis will be very, very worried if Ridge has gone off with an injury. They won't want to be without him.
I think he's maybe just gone off for a breather. He doesn't look injured to me. So this really does give the Kiwis the position to set themselves up for a clinching try. Freeman to Pongia. Pongia will try and find his way over. Won't get all the way by himself, so Freeman is acting half-back to spread the ball, and again the whistle sounds. They continue to concede penalties here.
Cummings has given the penalty to the Kumuls. He said that Pongia didn't play the ball correctly. He wasn't on his feet when he played it. You can see it now. He goes to the ground. He's struggling to get up and make a quick play the ball. And he just rolls it back between his legs. It's a pedantry point, if you like, but it's a penalty.
Looks like being the lowest scoring match of the tournament so far, this one. There's Papua New Guinea in possession, but only quarter of an hour left on the clock, and still 16 points to 2. New Zealand have the lead.
No shortage of excitement, even there's been a shortage of...
Oh, and a terrific break if he can get away here. Has he got the legs to go much beyond halfway? Well, they've really entertained the crowd of the Kumuls, and there was a lovely break again from Elias Payo. And they so deserve a try for their efforts this evening. Even if it becomes a consolation, the crowd would love to see them get one. From Lam into the centre, Gomia. Well, they really have revelled. It's been a lovely evening here at Knowsley Road, but they've just been unable to round off some spirited approach play. And already you see they've got through their tackles. And the New Zealand line looks like holding again. Let's see what Lam can achieve now, though. Tries to find some space, runs it. Oh, it's a great pass out to the wingman. Cuts inside, taken on by the centre, and again they carry that fight close with John Ockle's run. But it's going to be the handover, and still that New Zealand line does not yield.
Magnificent football from Adrian Lam again. Beautiful run, superb pass fired out. But again, the story of that night, when the Kumuls threatened the line, there were 5 Kiwis there to stop him.
Well, Adrian Lam, we must tell you, is one of the most popular players in Australia in the Winfield Cup this last year. Outstanding performer.
Had a starring role for Queensland in the State of Origin series as well, so he's some player. Kearney.
Well, it's a tribute to Papua's defence as well, that they've given nothing away, really, since that Richard Blackmore try after 10 minutes. Iro this time.
I've never seen them defend better than this, ever.
Well, they've really lifted their game tonight. Okasini, just over halfway. Iro, might give now. Iro, Kevin Iro. Oh, and he slips the pass away. It'll be picked up by Papua New Guinea, and the chance goes astray for New Zealand, and they can't do that sort of thing. Well, Lam will drive his team on in these closing minutes. There's 13 minutes to go. He was one of the try scorers against Tonga.
A bit of an unnecessary pass from Iro. There was no need to push the pass then. He could have stuck to the ball, and the Kiwis were right where they wanted to be. Now the Kumuls have come up with a penalty.
Matthew Ridge, I don't think he's hurt at all. I think he's just having a rest. 17 points, including those 12 tonight. Try and 4 goals for him. The only other scorer for New Zealand, Richard Blackmore.
Stuart Cummings is probably technically correct, but I don't know whether the crowd will be too thrilled at these technical penalties for the play the ball. I think they'd rather see the game flowing.
Yeah, most of the matches have flown, to be fair. And, the Kumuls are just taking off their centre, David Gomia. He's been very keen, hasn't he, on the play the ball rule.
Good to keep it tidy and keep the game flowing. That's what the crowds want to see.
Yes, they want flowing rugby league, and here comes Okasini. He flows all right, and on he goes towards the Papua line over the 25. Remember, they scored 5 tries against Tonga They've picked up only 2 this evening, and both in the opening 10 minutes. Kearney now tries to spin away from the tackle of Marcus Bai. Stacey Jones, Iro, they might not stop him. He's in full flight, Tony Iro. 5 yards out. Freeman waits. A long ball from him. They'll try and stretch them this time. Jones along the line. Oh, they've a colossal overlap. And surely if he gets this one away, there must be a scorer. Maybe not. Blackmore. And no. Yes, surely it must be a try. Good heavens. It seemed there as though they had to get in, but the Papua defence has been just about as good as New Zealand's tonight. Tremendous work again from Papua New Guinea to keep their line intact. They've got through to the last tackle. Still New Zealand look for this score. It's Paul, the ball back inside, goes to ground, and they can't find a way through either.
They can't. That was definitely the wrong option there from Henry Paul. He had 4 or 5 men outside. The Kumuls were short on that side. If he'd kept it moving that way, they must have been in with a great shout.
Well, I couldn't believe it. They seemed to have a 3-man overlap there. They just nailed Kevin Iro in time. He looked a certain score at one stage. 16-2 it is, 10 minutes to go, and enormous credit goes to Papua New Guinea in this game.
They've put in, I said earlier on, I was worried about whether they'd last the pace. Well, they've lasted 70 minutes and they don't show any sign of giving up now, do they?
Oh, not at all. Remember, there are countries still in rugby league infancy. Bai's come on in place of Gomaya. It's just that when they've got up close to that New Zealand line, they've not been able to force a way over. It's the one area of their game that's perhaps been disappointing tonight. They've lacked nothing in tenacity. And they're still giving it a great go. Oh, he may well get there this time. Oh, great roll. What a moment. Marcus Bai, the substitute, he's been on the field for 5 minutes, and he's gone fully 50 yards there for the score of the night. And Papua New Guinea get their try, his first in the World Cup. Marcus Bai sets the Papua New Guinea fans into raptures, and with 9 minutes to go, they are right back in the contest.
And just when we thought they were never going to score, they produce one right out the top draw. Here it comes, firing it right across the field. Kiwis look to have the situation covered. Nice ball away from Angra, and look how much speed this guy's got. Why hasn't he been on from the start? He left him for dead. He's away, flying down the wing. Leaves the boot behind, I think, and he's over the line. It's not his, there's a boot flying around there, but look at the speed he showed here.
Well, he got away from Henry Paul. There he is, look, away from Paul, and from that moment on, he was the favourite, and he's gone quite a long way there. Boots flying all over the place, Bai over the try line, and a rich ovation for Marcus Bai, scorer of Papua New Guinea's first try on the night.
A great, great try. We were saying earlier on that Adrian Lam's a hero back in Papua New Guinea. I think Marcus Bai is going to be a big hero after that one.
Well, they made a comeback against Tonga 3 nights ago. Can history repeat itself? Payo's got to put this one over, though, and he's missed once tonight. He's kicked one, he's missed one. An important kick for the Kumuls. But the scoreline does them enormous credit. And the reaction of the crowd tells you it's a bit of a flapper, really. It's gone way wide. So it's 16-6. The New Zealanders still lead by 10 points. But at least the Kumuls are giving it a terrific go.
They certainly are. They've had the chances to get much closer tonight. Here's the score. It's Max Turi puts the ball out, holds it up, draws the defender in, steps beautifully off his left foot, uses a fend to get away from the defender, and then shows his pace on the outside. Nobody's going to get near him. He's in for the try. Great score.
And I don't think that Frank Endicott would be too happy with Henry Paul for letting him go, to be honest there.
It wasn't the greatest attempt at a tackle, but you've got to give full credit to the Kumuls for that score.
Well, it was good to see, and it's 16-6, let me remind you. Let's see if that just stings the New Zealanders now.
The Kumuls may find times run out of them. They'll regret missing those goal kicks and not scoring from the positions they had earlier on.
Yeah, 16-10 would have been very interesting, wouldn't it? Two kicks missed. The referee's been just a little pernickety as well. Penalty awarded against New Zealand. Kearney again.
I've lost count of the penalties, John, but I think there are probably more penalties than points tonight.
Yeah, I think there are. And Kearney, I'm afraid, has been involved in quite a few of them. He and Freeman must have conceded just about every penalty.
That's right, definitely holding him down there, not letting him have to play the ball. And again, he's missed touch.
Yeah, it's a poor kick. You can't afford to do that at any level. And away for New Zealand goes Gene Namu, and he's got great pace. And the ball through the hands from Paul. Richie Blackmore almost on the 25 now. Still they look for the clincher. Pongia. Papialine has held throughout this entire second half. In fact, he's held since the 10th minute of the game. Well, when are New Zealand going to get another try? Okasini. No way through that way. It was rather studied, rather deliberate move, that one. And they've been a little disappointing on attack. But full credit to the Papua defence for that. They picked the ball up again. The crowd roar them on. With a terrific willingness. They want to see them really attack that Kiwi line with some zest, as they've done all evening.
I think the Kiwis have missed John Lomax tonight. He's served his suspension. He wasn't brought back, and he's a forward who can unload in the tackle and can create things out of nothing.
This is Max Thierry. He's come back out. Not sure if that ball was ever played, but the referee eventually says that was a little bit lax really there.
He was looking for guidance from his touch judges. I don't think he got it. In the end, I think he had to take a punt on it. Certainly didn't look like he played it. 8,600 here tonight.
Very good. I think that's round about the same mark as we had at Warrington the other evening, 8,679.
I think the rugby league fans of Great Britain, and particularly the north of England, have given the lie to the fact that they wouldn't turn up to watch anybody except their local teams. They've supported this World Cup in great style.
Adrian Lam has been named man of the match here this evening. And it's New Zealand roaring in with this Mano Cassini. He always looks intent on getting to the try line. And there's great danger here to the Papua line in these closing moments of the match. Pongia says, get out the way, I want to get over.
There's a Kummel down injured as well. There are only 12 defenders.
4 tackles to come. The ball away to Stacey Jones. Now to Kearney. 2 Papua defenders hold on to him. In the closing minutes of this game, Freeman crossed the line. Shouts of a forward pass, but Namu squeezed the ball away, and Richie Blackmore may get there this time. It's over for Hoppe, and that's over for Papua New Guinea as well. At long last, New Zealand get their score. The Papua New Guinea line breaks, their resistance breaks, and Sean Hoppe's second try of this World Cup is indeed the clincher for New Zealand at 20 points to 6.
The Kummels were a man short. You can see him down on the field there getting treatment. They only had 12 in defence. Henry Paul made the difference there. He fed the ball out, came on the loop for the return pass. That created the opening. There he goes, picks up the pass from Kevin Aero on the break, gives it to Richie Blackmore, and his pass takes him through the first 2 tackles. He's strong enough to stand up, offload inside to Hoppe, and he's over in behind, close to the post for the try. That really is the killer for Papua New Guinea.
Yes, I mean, I think they've been fighting a losing battle for much of this half, but Blackmore's strong. It was a simple task for Hoppe in the end. Henry Paul made a decisive break in there, but hard as they fought, Papua New Guinea's fight, I'm afraid, is over now.
I think they've just been too reliant on Adrian Lam. If they had one more playmaker, John, it could have been a different story.
Gene Namu has taken over goal-kicking responsibilities with Matthew Ridge off the field. And Namu scores, and it's 22 points to 6. That may well turn out to be the final score, but certainly we've enjoyed Papua New Guinea's performance here immensely, and they don't deserve to be 16 points behind, because there is not that amount of difference between these two sides.
Here we see the try again. Henry Paul makes the loop. Look at Blackmore's strength there. Through 2 tackles, hold off a third, pops it over the top to Hoppe coming in on the angle, and he's straight in over the line. He
only had to catch the ball, and he was a certain scorer. So Hoppe's try rounds off a not very convincing New Zealand performance, I think it's got to be said. In fact, they've not been convincing in either of their 2 games, but they do certainly go through to the semi-finals as a result of this.
Well, I think you've got to give all the credit to Papua New Guinea. They haven't allowed the Kiwis to settle into a pattern. They've come at them hard for the whole 80 minutes.
Yeah, the New Zealand defence has been good. That was Namu making the break. It's picked up by Stacey Jones. He skips away from a couple of tackles, plays the ball himself. Stacey Jones still very much involved in this game. Pongia. They're getting the passes away now. Namu rather, and then Kearney. And all of a sudden the New Zealanders are finding their feet again. It's as though they've got a second wind, so close to the final whistle. And you wouldn't bet against them scoring now. They've certainly got their chances. They look to be queuing up on that far side. And Namu and Iro all involved. The ball out to Hoppy again, kicks ahead, and picked up right on his own try line by David Buko.
I think the Kumuls have given their all. That last try has broken their hearts, but what a performance they've given tonight, and what a game they've made of it.
Yeah, it's been a very heartening performance for the game of rugby league as a whole that Papua New Guinea have put on. There is the man of the match, Lamb.
What a great player he is, and I bet you when the final hooter goes, the Saints fans are going to stand up and give this Kumul side a standing ovation all the way off the field.
Oh, that's for sure. And they're still at it, and another great break. Now then, can they really ignite Knowsley Park with another score? He's still going. He's had a big game as well as Stanley Genny, the standoff half. But it's the last action of this memorable night for Papua New Guinea. Although they've been beaten by 22 points to 6, the New Zealanders got only one second-half try from Sean Hoppy to add to those from Matthew Ridge and Richie Blackmore in the first half. The try of the night was scored by Marcus Bai for Papua New Guinea. The final score at St Helens is New Zealand 22, Papua New Guinea 6.